Just call it stop. I mean, if wherever the hell it is, if there's somebody standing there, you know, and you got multiple stop, I do it anyway just because people will get on my bus and they'll be on the wrong bus. And then I'll just tell them when they get on, you know, this is a 67 or whatever, just so to make sure they're on the right damn bus. I'm concerned lately by the number of drivers who have been placed on paid administrative leave over little issues. Some of the issues do not even have anything to do with TriMet. Yeah, what's that all about? I've never had any of that. What is going on around here? I admit I'm in a little bubble created by myself. But, you know, what is all? Why do people end up on that? Something goes on, and they just send you away. Oh boy. I'd also like to talk about negative comments being put on a progress report. Some stating you have 6 accommodations, but they're offset by 5 complaints. Oh boy. One more thing I really want to drive home to all operators is that if you have any doubt whether you can make it to the curb to board or deboard a passenger, stay away from the curb. We are hitting a lot of parked cars and poles. Yeah, that's just inexperience, so that must be like new bus drivers who are doing that. They'll get the hang of it. You get a couple of those and you learn. Unfortunately, the only way to really learn how to drive a bus is to make those mistakes. But remember to always lower the bus when you can. Yeah, well, we don't get those in Merlo. Alright, TriMet salaried employees. Jim, always nice read. Always enjoy reading his stuff. It's always good. Summer's riding down after a hot August. Things are cooling off. Management team probably give you atom voice and how great they appreciate you, but until they start proving I guess it's good. So after all the Steel Bridge stuff, the management gives out everybody attaboys, but that's no big deal because what you say and what you do. The latest I'm running into with our management is what they call a letter of expectations. They will tell you this is not discipline, but I can guarantee you that these letters will show up if you have another issue. And I'm sure the next issue will result in at least a letter of reprimand. See, one of the advantages of being in the lowest position here, and this is one of the reasons I stayed in many rooms, I can't be demoted, really. I'm in the lowest. There's nothing to talk about. You know, I show up to work. People don't hate my guts, and I don't crash. So, I mean, those are the criteria for a bus driver. You know, it's really not that much to ask. And if you see them out there, make sure you're calling your stops if you're downtown. You know, I remember having those sleuth riders. Remember that Inquisition? I finally got to figure out how the sleuths operated, and I had my mirror adjusted just at the sleuth seats because I knew where the sleuths would sit, and I knew their profiles completely. I developed understanding of how the sleuth riders would spy on us, and I had the mirrors right at the sleuth seat, and I knew what to look for. You had to look for the person visible so they could see if you were wearing your seatbelt and could hear you, and they'd have a pencil and a notebook. So they don't have the sleuth, so I always watched for the sleuths. If there were no sleuths, and you could tell if they weren't in that right seat, then you don't have to bother doing it. You know, you learn what to look for when you're complying with these ridiculous rules. I mean, not one person in my career here has missed a stop. Every single customer that's been on my bus has gotten where they needed to go. I've never had an issue with a disabled person. I mean, I wouldn't because I want that person to get where they just not for TriMet, but for me. You know, so you learn what to look for, and you comply when you have to. And they know. I hope they know this. I mean, it shouldn't be news to them. Okay. So anytime your manager wants to give you a letter of expectation, please be represented by your union officer. As I mentioned last month, they're just making plans for the fare inspectors. Yeah, I guess they're going to get rid of them. I'm not sure. I heard in the Beaverton Transit break room that they're hiring a whole bunch of supervisors that are supposed to ride on the bus. That would put the responsibility on the road. The caveat would be that along with the 7 inspectors coming over, the additional 15 supervisors would be hired. This would be well short. I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on with fare stuff anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know what goes on at Fred's level and who he's talking to with the fare evasion, but firing fare inspectors is not really the way to carry on. I don't know. I give up on that one too. Finally, our light rail maintenance. Oh, Michael Connor's back. Wasn't he gone for a while? Okay, last one out. Rail maintenance turns out the lights. Once again, the district comes to union hat in hand, looking for ways to try to get caught up on deferred maintenance. In the light rail vehicle, shop managers keep trying to get the union to add more production duties to their apprentices. Well, just say no as far as I'm concerned. I've also just had the executive board approve 3 shop stewards at El Monica. We're trying to line up some training. From fair to mow to REM, all areas in rail maintenance are suffering from understaffing and district cutting corners on maintenance every day. Watch for violations, let me know. Even when a district asks for help during worker shortages and continue deteriorating assets, even our small concessions are dangerous to our job security. Boy. Well, that's it for the union report. I guess the real big issue here is how do you talk to the new worker, and that's not really any surprise. I didn't notice any real big things. I didn't have real time to go over this before I read it. I just kind of read it as I would read it, just sitting in front of my TV, which basically is my computer. And hell, man. All I know is that I like my sign up, and my route is good, and life is good for me at the moment at TriMet. So I hope it's somewhat similar to for other people here.